one thing we noticed is every couple of years, it seemed like he picked something else up. First he was a gangster, then he became, when they were pushing the Marine, he started coming out with dog tags and wearing fatigues and doing, his salute and all this stuff. And now he's just as Rock calls him, a Fruity Pebbles bitch, wearing, multicolored T-shirts.
Yeah, and I made this comparison to Cena, and I've been, feeling kind of nostalgic for old cartoons lately, so this is why I'm going to make this comparison, and I stand by it. G.I. Joe, the original G.I. Joe cartoon, and you ask any G.I. Joe fan, they'll tell you that the show went downhill, they jumped the shark, if you will, when they introduced Serpentor as the Emperor of Cobra. And now the idea was that Serpentor was going to be a more serious, badass character who could get shit done, because Cobra Commander was kind of a joke. But, okay, you're telling me he's super serious, yet he talks like an idiot, because he adds this I command to all of the sentences, and not all of the sentences are commands, so he doesn't have a full grasp of, syntax and grammar. Yeah, English. He dresses up in this stupid-looking inflatable snake costume, and, yeah, he looks stupid, and he loses to G.I. Joe just as much as Cobra Commander did, so... Okay, yeah, you take him seriously. Well, I can't because you're presenting him like an idiot. And that's kind of what we have here with Cena. It's like, oh, he's the top guy. He's the top babyface, and he's the best in the world. Really? Because I think he sucks. I would never root for anybody that talks like that, acts like that, and dresses like that. It's just not in me.
Right. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to go here in a sec, but Nick, are you still needing time off, or have you calmed down, or... How you feeling, buddy? Because Nick has been very emotional the past couple of days about how frustrated he is with the WWE product and how he doesn't want to be a hypocrite because he doesn't know if he can continue to watch the WWE product in the state that it is. And he doesn't want to be, come on and bash them if he hasn't seen it because then he'd be no better than the Dave Meltzers.
Right. This is actually what I'm going to do. I am going to stop watching WWE altogether until after WrestleMania. I can't sit through this debacle of a card that they're going to put up. I do not give a rat's ass that Brian Christopher came out and cried about his daddy not loving him.
Yay, we had closure to a 2002 character that was built in TNA.
Yeah, basically. But
which didn't make any sense then because there was no chance Lawler was coming in.
Right. And I can't, I'm sorry, I don't want to watch this, I don't want to watch Snooki, I don't give a rat's ass about Tough Enough coming back, and I really don't want to put up with, it's going to be the greatest match of all time, Triple H versus The Undertaker. These are the same two guys that have been boring the living hell out of me for years now. Quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I've always believed, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves with people, they judge something without actually having viewed it themselves. I had an argument with a guy on Facebook about something TNA did, and he basically said, well, it doesn't matter what TNA did because everyone knows it sucks. And I'm like, okay, how? He goes, well, I don't watch TNA myself, but I do listen to LAW, I listen to The Observer Live, I listen to PW Insider, I listen to this. They tell me TNA sucks, so TNA must suck because... Well, that's not having an opinion of your own. That's letting other people tell you how to do. I mean, quite honestly, if in any other form of entertainment, which wrestling is a form of entertainment, if I were going to review The Fighter, the movie The Fighter, and I said, well, I know it was a good movie because I like Christian Bale from Batman. That's not a review, ladies and gentlemen. That's just basing it on what you think, happens. And I just cannot watch the WWE in this state.
Right.
Anymore, and maybe when WrestleMania dies down, I can come back and maybe give it a chance again, and hopefully Jerry Lawler will be out of the ring, and hopefully
I'm scared to death they actually are going to main event.
You know what?
Lawler and Cole?
Yes, I'm scared to death, but I think they might.
James, you have...
Did you honestly say, other than Rock and Cena, there's a match on the card that has more build-up?
Well, James,
they put more time and effort into this one match, and that's my major problem right now with the WrestleMania card. You have guys like John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Drew McIntyre, a whole roster full of, like, young guys.
Right.
Talented or not, like, whether you like these guys or not, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Swagger, but whatever, he's a former world champion.
Lenny.
I love...
Of Vice Men.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I'm serious. They should give him a pet and have him kill it from petting it too hard.
Well,
I love Morrison to death, but these guys, there's no direction for anybody that isn't on, like, on the main event level. And you look at what they're selling the show on, Rock's coming back, Austin's coming back, Taker and Triple H is the big marquee match.
And Edge and Christian are together again. Hey, everybody, 1999.
No, they're not. They broke that up. I'm going to bitch about that. SmackDown spoiler coming up, but I'll get to that in a minute. But there are just so many guys that have no direction, and you look at Alberto Del Rio, they have built him up horribly. Miz, up until Rock came back, they were treating him like crap. It was like, I shudder to think what the build-up for that match would be like if Rock didn't inject himself into it. And they're selling it on the Attitude Era. That's really what they're selling this WrestleMania on.
They are, and I'm going to go here in a sec here, guys. But, Nick, are you still going to, come on and talk, or are you going to just want time off, or what's the deal?
Well, I actually do want to make this official. I will try to help out a little bit on the Newsline, and I think, but though for the time being, because I'm not going to watch WWE at all, ladies and gentlemen. I have made the conscious effort. I am done watching WWE, and to be perfectly honest, I think I'm done watching most forms of wrestling. I have the one I like, and the other big issue I have with this is there's no wrestling news anymore. It's all people's opinion. It's Dave Meltzer's opinion. It's Mike Johnson's opinion. It's this scumbag by the name of John, whoever runs DOI, who clearly has an axe to grind with TNA, claiming that they screw him out of talent. Sean McCaffrey, I think, is the dumb motherfucker's name. I don't want to go on wrestling news lines anymore. I want to go back to being a mark for at least a month.
That's fine. And Nick, you're always welcome back, and I hope you'll reconsider. I hope you'll be sitting there on Monday night and want to tune in and say, you know what, I'm so pissed off, I do still have to talk about it. You're always welcome back on, and the day after WrestleMania, the show after Mania, I do want to have you on, though.
Well, I'll say this. We could very much be having a Brett Favre-like moment where we're, like, saying goodbye. I'm walking out the door, and then I'm going to go back to Mississippi, and then I'm going to realize, I'm bored, and I'm going to want to come back, and then you'll have drafted Aaron Rodgers and installed him in my spot, and I'll get pissed off, and I'll go to the Jets for a year. Then I'll spend a couple years in Minnesota, and and then I'll and
then you were going to come back, but there's no league to come back to because they're on strike. Because Adrian Peterson, this is a quote from Adrian Peterson: "Being an NFL football player is like being a slave." Yeah, $30 million a year slave. You fucking
wow,
idiot.
Really?
You fucking idiot.
It's kind of offensive. But I'd pick cotton for $30 million a year.
All right, Nick.
If you don't want the money, I'll take it. I'll gladly take it.
I'll take the ass kicking for 1 year's pay like that. Jesus Christ. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go. Nick, you're always welcome back, dude. I hope you'll reconsider. I hope sometime just relaxing. I've got the Newsline. Don't worry about it. But if you want to post every here and there in the afternoons, we welcome you to. Hopefully just some time off of not taking it so seriously will help you out. And we'll be here next week with somebody, some guest, and, if you want to join us, you're always welcome to come on.
Yeah, well, you know what? For those who don't know, I am on Facebook, and James and Patrick tell you what, keep sending me the times, and I'll at least consider it.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, hopefully so. And, for me, I'm just going to sign off for now, but I'm going to let you guys finish up because I know there's still some things you guys want to talk about. But
I have a rant I want to go on.
Absolutely. But for me, have a good night, everybody. I will see you next week. Bruce was an interesting interview, way off the wall, and I like it like that, so I think this will get some attention. I wish we had done it tonight instead of last night because Julie Hart just put up a little bit of a rant on his book, and that's up on the Newsline right now. I posted it this morning, so it would have been nice to have had that yesterday to get his take on it, but check it out, and hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right, later, James.
Later, guys.
All right, now it's James Walsh, the leader here at the Wrestling Epicenter, and I have one major rant I want to go on before we go. Sure. WWE, I'm looking at you. Okay, I have not given a shit about the SmackDown brand ever since you took the title off Punk. Like, once that happened, that killed the SmackDown brand, and I've barely watched it ever since. And you've done absolutely nothing just based on me reading the results and watching the few pay-per-views I have watched where you featured SmackDown. Just based on that, I can tell it's like SmackDown's just got nothing to it. And it's on Friday nights, and I go out on Friday nights, and I just don't want to watch it. On Raw this week, you advertise that Edge and Christian are going to team up and go for the tag team titles, which I've been dying for an Edge and Christian reunion for pretty much ever since Christian came back. And I'm like, okay, it's something. I'm going to tune in and watch SmackDown this week. I read the spoilers, and Edge and Christian are not going for the tag titles at all. They're not even in the same match. Now, they put Edge up against somebody, I don't know who, and Christian wrestles Alberto Del Rio in a cage match in the main event, and Christian wins. So, yeah, way to continue that strong build-up for Alberto Del Rio. I'm totally buying him as a legit contender. So, yeah, thank you for the bait and switch there. I totally appreciate that.
You know, when they announced that on Monday night, I thought to myself, you know, the smart thing would be to just have Edge and Christian win the belts. Because at the very least, it's Edge and Christian holding the belts. They're much more believable tag team champions than the core. Then I read the spoilers. I'm like, what the fuck?
It sucks. It sucks. There's still, a lot of shit to get pissed off about this week. But it's like, okay, guess what? I'm not watching SmackDown again. You had me for a second. You did. You almost had me back for at least 1 week. But nope, not gonna happen.
Especially since they advertised it. It's not like there was a rumor online that this week's SmackDown main event will be Edge and Christian challenging for the tag titles. No, it was a commercial produced by the WWE that aired
on Raw.
Yeah, aired during Raw. It's not like this was some rumor that we started or some belief or just something random that came out, or they actually advertised it.
Yeah, so fail. I mean, that's all I have to say. It's just fail. It's really lame. I'm pissed off about it. Yeah. So I'm not happy with both companies right now. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to rant about this week. You have anything else you want to go off on, Nick, before you sign off? Hopefully not for the last time.
Well, you know what? I know me. I'm an emotional guy. I might be back next week.
You're going to Brett Favre us, aren't you?
I think it might be, and then what may happen is I may have to, go to somebody else's show and, then, after I send a picture of my penis to a reporter and have to apologize to my wife, who supported me through all my addictions, then I can, retire and, patch up my relationship with you and Patrick. You guys can retire my number after the labor dispute. But, all kidding aside, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say this. I want to thank James and Cassie Walsh for giving me the opportunity to be a part of the show. I also want to thank Patrick, who has been a friend. I consider both James and Patrick to be very good friends of mine. At the end of the day, I was just a wrestling fan that had very strong opinions that managed to impress these two guys that I was a huge fan of by listening to their old shows, the old interactive interview, going as far back as Daniel Edler, and Patrick with his various co-hosts on the Pile Driver and Weekend Warriors. And I just want to thank them for the opportunity. I want to thank everyone for listening, whether you've agreed with me and told me so, or you've disagreed with me and thought I'm a fucking idiot, But I love this. I do love the wrestling world, and I've enjoyed wrestling since I was 9 years old, and I saw Macho Man hitting the Giant with a chair on Monday Nitro. And I hope that that both companies improve. I hope that someday we start to see a turnaround. And I hope that maybe after WrestleMania I'll talk a little bit and I'll come back and I'll kind of be like, this isn't so bad. Maybe a little time away. Maybe a little time away will refresh my memory. I actually have some things I'm interested in. I'm actually training to be a pro kickboxer, believe it or not. So we'll see how that dream goes, and we'll see ultimately what happens. I just want to say
all right, man. Well, whatever you end up doing, best of luck to you. It's been a